Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of your favorite show. All About You is on.
Yes.
I'm Helena and this is Matilda. Thank you for coming back.
Thank you for having me.
Matilda, today we're going to talk about something.
Yes.
We all talk about this, especially when we are chatting with our friends, and sometimes we don't. We just think about it. It's expectations versus reality. Matilda, what do you
Yes.
want to add to this before
Well,
we continue?
Everyone has expectations on something, be it marriage, career, relationships, studies. And the thing is, when we have
I remembered
expectations-
one. How about when you watch on TV this wonderful advert that if you wear those, how do you call it? Is it Spanx?
Oh, yes.
You will look so slim and so toned. Ladies, we know what this means. And then when you order and then you get to try it on, it's like, oh, this was all a lie.
Yeah, it's true.
You just have to lose weight.
That's the truth. Everyone has
Reality
striped
versus
Spanx.
expectation.
Exactly.
But
And this
jokes
is what-
aside,
No.
Matilda, there are
Well,
a
we
lot
have
of-
to learn to manage these expectations, isn't it? And we have to learn to deal with things that don't go our way. What do we do? How do we react? Do we get frustrated? On today's show, we're going to be helping people learn how to manage expectations very well.
and also to protect themselves
Yes.
from the, shall we say, the causes, or not the causes, the aftermath. Or think of a better word in English, that it affects you in such a way that you wish it hadn't. So we will give you some points, okay?
Yes.
Now, let's read the definition of frustration.
Yes, let's go.
Just not for fun, but for us to really understand what frustration means and what it can do to us. Then it says, frustration tends to happen when your goals or expectations don't work out the way you want. You might be engaging in an action or effort that doesn't work as expected or produce the results that you wanted.
Yes.
I'm afraid that the dictionary has bitten you in the definition of today's. Very well explained.
Yes.
Matilda, very well explained. You have to agree with that. Now, Matilda, we went to the streets of London.
Yes.
And we asked people what they think. We also have, do we have comments?
Yes, we do.
So let's go to the streets of our street interviews and we will be back after that.
Have you ever faced disappointments before?
Yes, recently. It was about a job. I was looking for a job and I found the perfect job for me. And I moved forward with the application. We were almost setting up for an interview and then this person disappeared.
Yeah, on several occasions. Yeah, when my mum was terminally ill, I was really disappointed with some of the care that she received. I wasn't really able to make things happen for her the way I wanted. It felt that there were lots of obstructions, there weren't the resources in place for her. So yeah.
And how do you deal with general disappointments in life? Big ones, small ones?
I just have a it is what it is attitude and then kind of move on, really.
It took some time for me to understand that it had an effect on me, but it took me time to process. Once I realized that thing really made me sad and disappointed, then I told myself, okay, let's move on now. Let's not obsess on this person, on this job. Let's move on.
I ended up taking on probably more responsibility myself that was good for me, trying to kind of fill in the gaps. And then, I just had to process it afterwards, really.
Brush myself down, it's one thing that's happened. You can always bring yourself back up, you know what I mean? You can always find another way, you can always find another angle. If something don't work here, there's always another way of trying to work things and getting to achieve what you want to do. Never dwell on anything, because if you dwell on anything, it'll eat you up and it'll just eat up your self-esteem, it'll eat up your self-confidence, life's a ball game, life's a roller coaster. It goes up and down, up and down. So, you take it as it comes and be thankful that every day you wake up in the morning that you can see the day out. Do you know what I mean? God bless.
So, welcome back. And as you can see from the street interviews, a lot of people have dealt with disappointments and things that didn't go their way. Like that lady that was talking
It's
about.
life, isn't it?
It's life, and we're always going to have to deal with things like this. Like that lady, for instance, that was talking about her grandma, and when she passed away, she didn't receive the care that she thought that
Her
she was
mother
going to
would
receive. Exactly, and it's really sad.
Probably she felt like,
know.
what are they doing?
Yeah.
My mother is in such a poor state. They could have done more.
Her expectations were not met.
Yeah. There was another gentleman that mentioned something that I really love. He said, don't dwell on things. It's kind of my motto as I am growing older. Just let things go. It is not. It's life. Especially expectation from people.
Yeah.
People are people. Just like we are entitled to have a bad day. Things don't go according to plan most of the time. And it's okay. So don't have high expectations on people, right?
Yes.
Now, there's also some comments. Do you want to read yours first?
Yes. So she says, I've been disappointed by someone before on different occasions, and it makes me feel so disregarded. But it taught me one thing. I should not put my dependency on others because they can fail, but rather to God who never fails. Okay, we'll come to that soon.
Yeah. I have one here that also mentions her mother. Now, I have a word for you, children, in a moment. Look at what she says. I have been disappointed by my mother once, and I felt so sad because I had high expectations. And she didn't apologize. She just kept quiet and said nothing. The thing with parents, we are very quick as children to judge our parents. High expectations. But didn't they do a great job to raise us the best they could? Isn't it?
Yeah.
The best they could. We were not in their shoes. And this is something I like to talk about when I am with young people who have all these things inside, traumas from childhood. We all had bad experiences growing up, unless you were not living on this planet, because things go wrong financially. Families sometimes, break apart for some reason, addictions, whatever. So it doesn't only depend on your mother or on yourself. It's a whole, it's many things combined that makes something called family. So I think it's very unfair that we have such high expectations of our parents.
Yeah.
Because look at back then. Maybe back then they didn't have all the support system you have nowadays if you have a child. So we have to be very merciful with people. And I think this is one of the points, to help people stop dwelling on the past, stop dwelling on what you think. We think many things, but many times we are very quick to comment on things we've never lived, or criticize something we don't know what it's about. So here is something for you to think about, okay? So next time you look at your mother, at your father, maybe they are not perfect, maybe they let you down, but have some mercy. Because if you were to go through what they went through, because maybe that's how they coped with whatever happened, maybe you would maybe not even be able to raise a child. Maybe you would just break down. I don't know.
Yeah, I think if we were to put ourselves in people's shoes more often, we would be less disappointed.
Yeah. So we expect too much from people, and people are just human, like we are, right? So, Matilda, we're going to talk about some points.
Yes.
Right? Expectations versus reality, where we're going to mention some cases where people usually have high expectations and they get disappointed. So let's see. And why are we talking about this today? Because things can be so much better when you see things from a different angle. When you learn to safeguard yourself from certain situations, and so on and so on. So we're going to mention a few and have a look, see if any of these have to do with you, and take a step, change, forgive, move on. All right? So what's the first one, Matilda?
So the first one is my career will give me complete personal satisfaction. So a lot of people put all their hopes, all their expectations on their career. They think when I become a doctor, a lawyer, or whatever, then I'm going to be completely happy. I'm going to be satisfied. But then they get into that career and then they realize, oh, hang on, this wasn't what I was expecting.
Or hang on, I was studying so hard that I forgot I had a family
Yeah.
or a love life or any.
Yeah.
So then you finished your career. I mean, you didn't finish your career, but you graduated, you went for masters and masters and masters and all that comes after masters. And you realize, hold on a second, I'm single. I forgot to take
Invest.
care, because who am I going to enjoy all my wealth with? Yeah.
This is one for a lot of ladies nowadays to think about.
They don't really like us to talk about this, but
No.
listen, ladies, we are here. Let's pretend we are all together in the living room having a cup of tea. Let's just be honest and, consider what is being said, okay? Second point, another thought that people have. I thought that if I moved in with my boyfriend, he would treat me like his wife. Perfection.
Yes.
Let me tell you something. Okay, if you give everything away, why would that person have to fight to keep you if you already gave yourself away?
Yeah.
Matilda.
That's true.
It's like this. Okay, it's like this. If I don't know how people will take this example. Let's see what the producer says.
Yeah.
If she says it's not
good enough.
we'll just
discard.
do a retake. I'm a country girl, so I'm going to use an example from the countryside. We used to go and fetch milk to the neighbors. They had cows, so I would be there waiting and they would milk the cow. And I would bring it nice and warm and super frothy, better than Costa, back to my grandmother. But this thing of moving in together is more or less like this. If you are moving in with a boyfriend in hope that he will marry you later or keep you or value you, this is what happens. So it goes more or less like this. Why buy the cow if you get the milk for free? Now, let's think about this for a moment. It's obvious that if you move in with your boyfriend, what is he going to get out of it? He's going to get a clean house, food on the table,
Shirts
plus,
ready.
plus other benefits. We know which ones, because if you're living with someone and you are in a romantic relationship, then what's the rush? And then you get these boys, I don't call them men, I call them boys.
Yeah.
They go like, we have time. It's just a piece of paper. So if it's just a piece of paper, then let's go and sign it, right? So, sorry, I'm a bit passionate about this topic, so maybe we should move on to the third one. But yeah, we should talk about this more maybe on another episode. But think about this for a second. If he keeps telling you, Matilda,
Yes.
prove your love for me. Prove your love. Okay, then you prove yours first.
Exactly. Marry me.
Because you will gain more marrying me than me, you. You get peace of mind. It's not like you have your mother at home, but you have a wife, but without a ring. No. This has a lot of value. You've got to honor before you can have this in your home.
And he will respect you more because he sees, okay, she's different.
And if he says, well, so it's over.
Bye.
All right then. See ya.
Simple.
All the best. Because here, no. All right? This is like a ruby. It's like a diamond. This is not a cheap plastic stone you buy, at the pound shop. No. This has value. So you've got to earn it, right?
Exactly.
So what's the next one?
He said, I expected my marriage to be like romantic movies.
Oh, that's a big one, Matilda.
Yeah,
Please
you know,
elaborate on that one.
You know, I remember when I was dating my husband, there was a period of time when, you know, every week he'd bring me like chocolates and flowers.
Oh my
without
goodness.
fail. And so he'd always bring. And then one day someone said to me, you know, when you get married, this is going to change, right? And I said, no, of course not. He's going to carry on doing this every week. And then what happened? we got married, of course, I'm married. And then, you know, in the first month, here and there he'll bring chocolates. But then over time, it stopped. The chocolates stopped coming. And then I thought,
He got busy.
yeah, exactly. He's busy. He has
Actually, your
things to
husband
do.
is a pastor. He's very
Yes,
busy, as well as other men out there, obviously.
But initially I thought, wait, where are the chocolates? Where are the flowers? Why isn't he bringing anymore? I was so like carried away in my...
Spoiled.
Yeah, my spoiled, immature, romantic notion of... But then I realized, hang on, wait, he has things to do. He's busy. And imagine him bringing chocolates every week. First of all, I'll just keep putting on weight after weight. Practical. And secondly, it's like, imagine he's there, he's faithful, he's caring, he does all this. But then a lot of times, what do women do? We destroy our marriages because of petty things. Oh, no chocolate. Oh, because, you know, in the movies, you know, the man, he brings flowers. They wake up in the morning and they, without even brushing their teeth, they're already holding each other. Like we have this...
No.
It doesn't work like that.
But you know, singles out there hear us say that things change after marriage, and they go like, oh, it must be really horrible. No, it's not. I actually told my husband, don't spend money on flowers. Buy me a shirt. Buy me, you know, I like shirts, so buy me a shirt. Buy me something else.
Yeah.
That's it. Usually he says I don't have one romantic bone in my body. That's not true. However, I am practical. So my husband was a bit like that because that's what they thought was right.
Yeah.
That's what they watch on TV.
That's what they watch, and then...
But what is to be a romantic? He's a faithful man.
Exactly.
A respectful man that honors his word.
Yes.
That goes to work, you know, to help build a home, your financial life. You know, he's mature. He sacrifices. This is attractive.
This is and
More than
this is
flowers.
Exactly, because flowers die. And after a while they're gonna die anyway. But then, but you have someone who's faithful to you, faithful to his word. I think this is what women should value and stop, you know, destroying and making a big deal out of nothing, and you know, having problems in their marriage.
You know,
because...
Matilda, in one of these counseling sessions that we do before the love therapy, we have love therapy sessions. Which is a seminar we hold every Thursday to pray for love life and all that. And you can come early or after the seminar, you get advice, you know, for whatever it is that you need. And this girl came to me and she was like distraught. And I thought, well, something must have happened. I see that she attends regularly and she really wanted to talk to me. And she said, I have something to tell you. Things are not going well. And I was like, okay, what a shame, because they are so good together. They are doing well. What was her complaint? It was Valentine's Day, and he forgot to give her whatever gift or whatever. And I looked at her and I felt so sorry for her. I was speechless, and it's very hard for me to be speechless. And I was like, what do I say to her? If I tell her what I really think, I think I'm going to break her, or she's going to really be like depressed. So, because she's so fragile. She's so, and I was like, okay, I'll talk to you after the seminar, because I really needed to think, well, how am I going to say to her that she's been spoiled, childish? And I mean, she has a man by her side who is hardworking, who is super respectful, who loves her to bits. And he travels a lot, so he forgot. So anyway, look how expectations.
This is a big thing that is really, you know, harming relationships.
Yeah, and many times they break up.
They break up over silly things.
Yeah. Oh, well. What's the next one, Matilda?
Says, I expected my children to follow the career path I set for them.
Again, people are people, and we cannot, live our lives through other people, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't do this. It's not fair, isn't it? It's not fair. No. So imagine in a household where you are expected to succeed in a certain area, to become a lawyer, a doctor, or an engineer, and you have no passion for that whatsoever. And you know that if you tell your parents, you feel, you're like, oh, I'm going to break their heart. So you do things to please them, or sometimes you don't. And look at the mess it creates in the home.
Exactly.
It's not good. No. Fifth one.
It says, I thought I would be married by a certain age.
What do you have to say?
So there's a lot of people, especially in certain cultures and things, they put pressure on their children to be married by a certain age. If you're not married by 25, for instance, oh my gosh, there's something wrong with you. But perhaps maybe this person just hasn't found the person she's going to settle down with, etc. But when people don't fulfill these expectations, that's when they start to get frustrated. Or maybe there's something wrong with me. Maybe I'm not good enough.
But for example, family who has this frustration, then you put pressure on your children, and they will end up doing something wrong just because they want to meet your expectations. Yeah. Or they feel really, what's the word, like unappreciated.
Yeah.
Like you are good for nothing, you are a loser just because you didn't have children yet. I mean, you marry when you find the right person.
Yeah.
And if you marry at an age where you can't bear children, you can always adopt. It's a very nice thing to do. I mean, how many children need a loving home?
Yeah.
So we have to be careful not to place burdens on people. Then it says, another one, I expected to have my dream job right after graduation. Again, you need to build experience and the know-how.
Yeah.
Because a diploma doesn't really mean I know how to do the job.
Exactly.
That's another one. And the seventh one, Matilda.
It says, I expected my friends never to break my trust, but they did. So this one goes for people who always place their expectations on people.
Do you know why? Because when you have that, when you expect so much from your friend, it's because you are giving them too much. You share all your life with your friends. That's not what friends are for. Friends that are really good friends, they understand that there are things they don't need to know about your life. It's your marriage, it's your privacy, it's your finances.
Yeah.
So a good friend respects the privacy of the other person. But because you give so much away, imagine, as a human being, you keep telling me all your secrets.
It even puts
what
pressure.
Am I going to do with all this information, right? Hey, Matilda, you don't know what I just heard. No way.
Yeah.
I mean, is it correct? No, it's wrong. But you gave too much away. So there you go. You have to protect yourself. What's the next one, Matilda?
It says, I thought that when I moved to the UK, everything would be easier.
So, that's a big one.
Yes.
It's like this. In the UK, even though we are having all this cost of living, shall we say crisis? I don't know what word you would use, but some people who come from abroad, they think, wow, £1 is like this many times in my currency. If I only make it to the UK. So what do? They do certain things that they shouldn't do just so that they can come here. Yeah. And then they realize, hold on a second, I make like 6-7 times more in the UK, but I spend 6-7 times more in the UK. Because life here is very expensive. So it's not realistic. And sometimes, you get people coming for advice and they are here just as a tourist asking, I'm planning to stay and start a new life. This is good. However, go back home, do things properly.
Yeah.
get a visa, you know, plan things really
things,
well so
yeah.
that you can be free when you come to the UK, for example, and then start from scratch like everyone else did, and then made it to whatever level they wanted to be. So these are things that people don't talk about. All they say is, oh, in England, it's this much money.
It falls from the tree.
Yeah, there was someone from a specific culture that used this funny expression, the land of milk and honey. And I looked at the person and I said, excuse me? No. You know, people here pay a lot of taxes, pay a lot of bills, a lot of many things. So yeah, be very careful.
Yes.
The 9th one.
It says, I thought that when I become a Christian, I would never face challenges. It will be an easy ride.
Oh, no. The Bible says, actually, if I could ask the production team to put the verse on the screen, because I'll just paraphrase, I don't know it by heart, that when it rains for everybody,
Yes.
over the righteous and the unrighteous.
Yeah.
While we are here, we are subject to pretty much the same things. But what do we have in our favor? We have the Word of God, which is guidance to protect ourselves. The Word of God, God's commandments are for our protection. They're not to, you know, bind us like, oh, I'm a prisoner, I'm not a Christian, I can't do this. Oh, I can't drink. It's a good thing you shouldn't be drinking, because then you will never have cirrhosis. You will never have a broken family from alcohol addiction. Look at all the benefits of many of the commandments.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, God is with us.
Exactly.
We are never alone. We have hope. Whatever happens to us, for example, pretend I'm a Christian and you're not a Christian, and then we work at the same company. We were made redundant, and then what's the reaction? Because I'm a Christian, and I really live my faith seriously. I take things seriously. I have hope. No, hold on a second. This is not going to break me. I'm going to go out there. This may be an opportunity for me to get something better, actually. But maybe you think like fall into depression.
I'm depressed. I'm sad. Oh, I'm never going to have another job. What's going to become of me now?
Can you see the difference? We go through a lot of trials and tribulations. Actually, it's one of the great promises in the Bible. Because if they persecuted Jesus, imagine us. Are we greater than him? No. So, And then the last one, Matilda.
It says, expectations about the work of God. Many people fantasize about the work of God without realizing that it's a sacrifice.
This is for the ladies out there who are Christian, you know, they attend the church and they are very passionate. They say, you know, I want to serve God on the altar as a pastor's wife. Some of them, they are very sincere and they really desire that. They want to be in the church 24/7, visit the sick, visit people in prison with her husband, go anywhere God sends her. But some people, Matilda, they fantasize. They think, for example, we are pastors' wives. They think we do our nails all day long.
Yeah, we just sleep, wake up.
That it's just, you know, what am I going to do today? I don't know.
Oh, I don't know either. Should we just...
No, it's hard work at many levels.
Yeah.
You can be sent to any country. You have to learn the language. You have to adapt to the culture. For example, when I went to different places, but let me use the one I always use, the Asia one, which is one of the most recent. I was sent to Taiwan to officialize the church there with my husband and everything, and start the help center there. I became Taiwanese. Forget about because I'm naturally Portuguese. I'm no longer Portuguese from the moment I step on another land. Because how will I love those people? How will I sacrifice for them if I don't live like them, if I don't understand them? So, have to learn the language. And then you go through many things. You go through a lot of hair loss because it's super stressful to learn a language that you never heard of before. It's different food, it's different everything. So there's many aspects of being a pastor's wife that many girls, they fantasize, they think, they just think of the men.
Yeah,
I'll be married to a pastor, and because the only picture they have on their mind is the pastor and his wife on the altar, looking nice and sharp, smiling on Sunday morning. So they do not understand, you know. But anyway, we are preparing an episode about what is a pastor's wife life like. A little bit of, you know.
Gives a glimpse of what we do.
Yes,
you know.
Okay, so watch out for this one. Now, there is a Bible verse, Matilda, we want to share with people. Can you read it for us, please?
Yes, and it says, "And those who know your name will put their trust in you. For you, Lord, have not forsaken those who seek you." Yes, and there's another one. It says, "Let us hold fast the confession of our hope without wavering, for he who promised is faithful."
So basically, all our hopes, high expectations is on who? On God. Nobody else can replace him. No human being can give you what your soul longs for. You can be very happily married, but when you go through tough moments, not even the love of your husband can fill your soul from whatever the pain you are going through. Only God can. All right? I want you to remember that. Now, Matilda, we have a very nice real life story that we would like to share with our viewers. I was watching it and I was like, this is wonderful. And I'm sure this happens to many people. So, my dear friends, we are going to say goodbye to you for now.
Yes.
And we're going to leave you with this real life story. Please get in touch with us. Ask your questions. Book an appointment to speak to one of our pastors. Maybe you are watching us from abroad, from the UK. It doesn't matter. And you're going through something that you just want to talk to someone about or just receive a prayer. You can do this via our WhatsApp line or our 24-hour helpline. Okay? We are also open every day.
Yes.
You know, there's no day that we are closed. We are always, always open. All right? We are here to serve you. May God bless you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I started to develop mental health issues, I guess, at the age of 11. So it really started off when I was younger because I was born with a skin condition that affected my whole body. It led me to be really angry, have so many different complexes, and feel the need to always lash out at somebody and someone else. I didn't ask to suffer. Why me? Especially because, again, my family members didn't go through what I was going through. So I felt as though I needed to take it out on them. Over time, I started to become really down, really sad, always crying myself to sleep, whether it be just because internally I was sad or because of the skin condition. It was causing me so much pain. I just couldn't bear it. Doctors prescribed, sleeping tablets or different medications to alleviate the pain, but it was like nothing was working. Coming up to the age of 11, that's when the suicidal thoughts really started to kick in, thoughts of ending my life. There would just be the thoughts of, taking tablets or doing things, holding bleach, wanting to drink it, or holding a knife, wanting to stab myself. But I really didn't want to die in a painful way, so I started to attempt. I took tablets to overdose on multiple occasions. I tried to hang myself. I tried different ways to really end my life and end the suffering because I thought no one wants me in this world. My worst moment was when I started to go to therapy because at that point I truly did believe that was the solution and answer to my problems. I felt as though going to therapy would somehow magically transform the situation I was in. But because it didn't, it led me to go even more into sadness and depression. And it got to the point where I thought another strong power would be able to help me overcome the battles I was facing. So I decided to Google how to give my soul to this strong power, give myself and allow this to possess my whole body, because I felt as though I just did not want to live. Killing myself was no longer working. Let someone else take over my body completely. When I started to follow the steps of how to do it, I began to hear voices. And this for me was really traumatic because never in my entire life up until that point had I heard voices. I remember other people would say they would, you would see it in movies, different things, but I think it's just a fairy tale. this stuff doesn't exist. How can you hear a voice and there's no one there? But because I did, that's when I truly understood, okay, me doing what I was about to do was no joke. And that's when it really hit me, where is my life going and how comes it's gotten to this point where I feel like I can't even return. That was honestly the lowest point of my life, and I just really needed help. I just didn't know what else to do, so I went to my mum and I asked her for some advice. And I remember her turning and telling me that what I am facing is not normal and I need to go and find a place that can truly help me. So I remember after that word of advice, I prayed and I said, God, look, if this place that she's recommended that I go to is truly where you want me to go, then place someone in my way to bring me there and I will go. Around 2 days later, I was walking on the streets and someone I'd never met before invited me to come to the help center. And they also told me later on that I could overcome my depression. Since coming to the help center, my life has changed in so many different ways. But one thing I can say, it's definitely changed me internally. I am no longer the same person, especially in terms of my mindset. No longer do I go home crying myself to sleep. No longer do I have this desire to die every single day when I wake up. No longer is it just like, oh, I'm waking up to see another day. I'm up and I'm ready to go. In different areas as well, externally have been transformed just because, again, my mentality was transformed. My life today is someone that lives a life of faith, believing that there is more to life than the problems that one goes through, and having this desire to want to live. I really have a spiritual foundation and a relationship with God. I believed that there was a way out of my problems, there was a way to overcome, and that I can truly beat depression. My message to someone that is currently facing depression would be, believe. Right now, it doesn't seem like there is a way out. Right now, it seems like you're maybe in a tunnel. There's no source of light. There is no exit sign. But just believe that there is, because there truly is. If I can beat depression, and I was a nobody and still am, then you can too.
Are you in need of a faith incentive or daily words of motivation for your life? Liberty Radio is here to support and help you every day. The radio provides a variety of relevant programs to your liking that will strengthen and help you increasingly to get the best out of your life. Download the Liberty Radio app now from your phone app store. Connect to us and start to thrive in your life. Liberty Radio, the radio that sets you free.